And people find a narrative, and once they get that narrative, they stuck on it. They start looking for things to verify how they feel. I work for large companies and I work for small companies. And the biggest difference I see, a small company feel like we're not tied to the same old rules that large companies have. I'm just one guy, I own it. We got the freedom to do what we want. We can think outside the box. And sometimes that can be a good thing. But what I've learned in my life is that large companies used to be small companies, and they develop these rules over time that become consistent because they work. They're not just trying to just do something for no reason. These keep everybody safe. And it's just funny in this Roger Jackson situation, nobody is caring about the company. So I want to talk about the company here and talk about how people can say something but make it seem like it's not really that bad. So Queen Rampage Jackson's son, Roger Jackson, goes to an event. A guy hits him in the head, and then he goes into the ring later and almost ends that guy's life. Now, there's a lot of more context to that. Just want to say a little quick, simple little roundup here. I find it weird, I just find it interesting that all the people that are just saying that Raja is solely to blame and he's just this monster, how they're dismissive of things that are very important. And I guarantee you they're gonna come up in trial, and they will come up by a doctor. It's not that they're not saying the information, it's in how they're saying the information. So, context. Raja Jackson is a up and coming mixed martial artist. He wants to be like his father. He goes to training a couple days before, and this is all on video. He gets kicked in the head or punched in the head, and you can clearly see him stumbling like he out of it. He goes to the hospital. He is concussed. Now imagine you're the son of a really famous MMA fighter, and you can't train or do anything from the doctor because you have a real concussion. So since you can't do anything, hey, one of your friends invites you to this wrestling event. You arrive at this wrestling event and you meet the wrestlers behind the scene and you shake their hands. And one of the wrestlers come up to you, they're talking shit. And they're mad that you don't know who they are. So they pick up a fucking can and smash it across your recently concussed head. Now, right after he did it, now the crazy shit about this is that, like, I was watching channels and they're like, especially the Weasel. The Weasel is a big mixed martial arts channel. I've been watching the Weasel since he was very small. I knew he was gonna blow up from how he did content, but like, it was so weird to see him dismissive of things that is very important. He said that he hit him in the head with an empty can. You can hear the clankling in the sound and the force he put behind that hit to this stranger who he do not know and has never met in his life. You can hear that it's full. You can see the suds and shit coming off of his head when he hit him so hard in the head with it. His recently concussed head. Now, another thing I see that people dismissive about is they're saying, the wrestler hit him because he saw a camera, so he thought he was doing a fake bid. This is where we get into the small company versus big companies do things right. I want y'all to name me one time you've ever in your life seen a wrestling bid that a wrestler just randomly came out and did on a fan that was there at the event. That just randomly did it. When you see these bids, you may see something crazy like two wrestlers fighting inside of a shopping center. In order for those two wrestlers to fight inside the shopping center, the organization has called the shopping center. These two wrestlers have both planned out every single thing that they're gonna do. Nothing is left to chance. Both people in the bid have signed contracts. When have you ever seen a wrestler just randomly attack a fan they've never met in their life? Now, add more context to this. The wrestler, according to his friends that was there, they said he's always in character. He's been drinking heavily. So this organization has an employee that is under the influence before he fights. And then he assaults a fan. Because you guys saying like, yeah, it's kind of a dirt thing to do. He shouldn't have done it. No. I want to be clear. This was illegal. He physically assaulted a stranger. Never in the history of niggerdom have I ever seen, because you work here, you get to punch somebody in the face or hit somebody for no reason that you don't know. When you go out here and you build it like this, you're just not being honest with the audience that you're talking to. You're making the audience believe that this is just normal in wrestling when it's not normal in wrestling. It's irresponsible for the company to have employees who've been drinking that assault fans. It's wrong for a company to have someone who thinks that they can just randomly do a bid on any stranger they come up on. And you don't get a get out of jail free card for doing that. So when all the other wrestlers try to tell Rajah Jackson, like, yo, he thought he was doing a bid, he's always in character, I interpret that as, didn't this man say he has PTSD? Y'all so focused that, oh, he once served our country. He was attacked and he served our country. Hey, don't nobody, I was in the military. If I go out there right now and smash somebody across the goddamn head with a can, don't nobody care that I was in the military? And they shouldn't care. Why does it matter if he served? Only thing we should take about him used to being in the military is when he said he suffers from PTSD. We have someone who suffers from PTSD, who's under the influence, according to the guys that's around him, that physically assaulted a stranger. Once all the people around say he's always in character and he does stuff like this, what I'm seeing is a small company enabling someone to do these behaviors. And if they continue to do these behaviors, it's only a matter of time before something happens, before something comes with this. What else have I seen? Rajah accepted his apology. I saw the same footage y'all saw. I never once saw Rajah be totally cool. I saw Rajah deny it twice, and then I saw the guy kept asking, and Rajah finally accepted and shook his hand, right? I'm looking at that footage like, this nigga's still mad. He really don't want to do this. I heard that Rajah was getting pumped up by his audience. Before he was sitting ringside, he still was mad. He was mad walking down the hallway. He was mad merely seconds after they shook hands. That's him trying to like, my brain is telling me I was just assaulted and I'm fucking pissed. I don't even supposed to be getting hit in the head and this motherfucker touched me and shit, but I'm trying to be cool in this fake wrestling world that I don't know nothing about. Recipe for disaster for this small company. Right now, the wrestler could go to jail for assault, and right now, the company can be sued by Rajah. But we go into it, the company can be sued by both of them. Because walking down that hall, a wrestler told Rajah, the owners told Rajah, you can get your get back in the ring. We can interpret this however we want to interpret this. I guarantee you this is going to come up in trial. I guarantee it. You can get your get back. You know what I'm saying? Still off on that motherfucker. And if somebody got a problem with it, I'll deal with them. That's what the wrestler said walking down the hallway to Rajah. Y'all gonna say, that's the wrestler that Rajah know and he was cool with, right? No. I'm looking at this legally about who is responsible for this outcome, which is the company. He is an employee of the company. The owner told him to go into the ring and you can get your one off there, you can get your shit off there. The wrestler walking down the hallway, still off on that motherfucker. Then after the incident happened, he's on the phone and someone said, I told you to double leg him mountain and well off on him. We all clearly heard that on the phone call. He was given instructions. Now, what's funny about this is we focus on Rajah being a mixed martial artist, but nobody's focused on what he is a rookie and he has no clue about. He's not a wrestler. So this company instructed a concussed guy who was just hit over the head with a beer can for no reason at all to go into the ring and do a bid and take somebody down and wail on them. That's exactly what that video shows. The video shows clear instructions. I'm not saying that Rajah innocent. I'm saying like, this is a recipe for disaster. This is why big companies have things in place to protect everyone. Every bid is discussed. Everybody has agreed that's inside of a bid. You don't have men just walking around assaulting people for no reason and then hiding behind, oh, I was just trying to do a bid. This further lets me know this guy must have been under the influence. If not, then it's even more on the wrestling organization. If he thought that this was normal, you have an employee that think it's normal to go around and assaulting people. You have not pre-discussed anything. I want y'all to think about this for the wrestling fans. When he just walked up to this guy who he don't know and smashed him over the head with a bottle, with the beer can, who would have been the heel and who would have been the baby face? I know some of y'all common people probably don't know what I mean when I say this, but everything is discussed and the outcome is discussed. Every move is discussed. You guys telling the fans like this is normal is just irresponsible. It would have been normal to have a conversation with Raja, be like, yo, we know you here, you knew the wrestling. Hey, since your dad famous, we want to try to get you some clout. So we're going to have this wrestler come up and he going to hit you over the head like with a beer. Raja would have had the opportunity like, nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. I'm literally concussed. I'm literally just got knocked out 2 days ago. I'm on a strict orders from my doctor. Which brings me to another subject. He reached out his hand after the third attempt and said like, "Oh, we cool." I don't know if he qualified to say if he cool. How can he be qualified to say if he cool if he just got smashed over the head with a beer bottle if he's concussed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think at that point, if a doctor told you not to have any physical contact and you were just illegally assaulted right in the same head, that a professional would need to tell him if he's okay or not. But yet this company told him to go into the ring. Now, was the audience egging him on? Yes, there was egging. You can clearly see that. The anger, the frustration, all of that shit was there. And then this is what I think like with the hypocrisy is that like, you know how many YouTube videos I watch and I'll sit there and go, man, that little white boy just shot everybody up. And then they'll show, well, 3 days earlier, they was bullying him. They shoved him in the locker or something. Just why y'all can't get mad at how people respond. Okay, it was wrong for them to shove him in the locker, but did he have to come back and kill everybody? That's a little overkill. So did y'all need to leave people alone then? If you don't want the result, why y'all say shit like that? But when a concussed man was illegally assaulted for no fucking reason at all, from sheer negligence of this wrestling organization, from sheer negligence, allegedly, because we ain't checked his blood, but the wrestlers around saying he been drinking, and then he wails off on somebody he don't know. Why y'all ain't following the same rules? Why y'all not following the same rules? You should leave people alone. That man should be checked out. Because if they're saying he has a history of he going around, he always in character or whatever, to the point where he can hurt people who are not a part of the organization, that person should be not wrestling in that organization. When he admits that he has PTSD, he should not be wrestling in that organization. This is a huge event that's on multiple sides, be it the wrestler in the hospital without any teeth in his mouth, or Raja who probably about to go to prison right now. This stems from a small organization who doesn't have their rules in order, who isn't going by the book like a large company would do. It doesn't cost you money to go by the book. It doesn't cost you money to plan things and not just have things come out of the spurt of nowhere, totally unorganized against people who are not even in the organization. To throw all of this just on Raja means that a wrestler who goes out and attacks people, who has PTSD, will have the opportunity to go scot-free, be a victim, and do it again. And a careless organization will continue to run where different fans may be in trouble. Hold everybody accountable.